Hey guys, how are you all doing? It's a girl Cindy, and I'm back again today with another gist. Guys, thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. So I just want us to have a look at this video today and talk about it. This black woman is talking about the dest things white therapists say to their client. Now, as a black person, what is it like seeing a white therapist? Do you mind sharing with us? I'm gonna let this video roll so we all can hear, the things she said. And of course, I'm gonna show you some stitches. Obviously, some black people staged her video. They shared their experiences, which we are gonna see. Please check this video out.
Welcome back to White Therapists Say the Darndest Things, a series that I created to tell you the things that white therapists have said to or in front of me that would knock your socks off. So today I'm going to tell you guys about when I worked for an organization that I actually really loved. It was predominantly white, and everyone there was like very hipster. They were very Christian, but very like hipster. I'm a cool Christian. So when I started working there, one of the girls on my team, she really took a liking to me. She was a white woman, and every single week we would go to lunch. So our team would meet once a week for our mandatory meeting, and then after the meeting, her and I would go to lunch, and we did this for weeks when I first got there. And so one day on the way back from lunch, she was driving, and she looked over to me and she said, "I am so glad you are so nice. I was so scared when they brought you around and said that you were going to be on our team. I just knew you were going to be so mean." And I said, "Mean? Why did you think I was going to be mean?" And she said, "Well, so-and-so is really mean." So-and-so was the other black girl on our team. She was also a therapist, and she had been there for a couple of years. And I said, "Well, is she mean? She's not mean to me." And she said, "Well, her and so-and-so are mean." The other so-and-so that she was referring to was the other only black girl who was a therapist at the organization. Now, mind you, the organization was pretty big. They had a Monroe location and a Rayville location. They still do. And at this time, it was me, so-and-so, and so-and-so. We were the only black therapists at an entire organization who predominantly saw black clients. And so I said, "Why do you think they're mean? Those girls are not mean. They talk to me." And she said, "No, they don't. They barely talk to anybody." I said, "Okay, well, have they done anything to you to make you feel like they're mean or they're rude or y'all don't get along or anything? Y'all seem to get along pretty well." And she said, "Well, when I invite them to lunch, they don't come. When we invite them over," the therapist that I was talking to at the time, she lived with two of the other white women therapists at the office. They all kind of lived in a house together. "When we invite them over, they don't come. And they just don't seem interested in hanging out." So I said, "Are they mean or are they introverts?" And she said, "No, they're mean. They make a point to go out of their way to not hang out with us." So I said, "So what about Sam?" Sam is a white girl or white woman who also worked at the agency. She was also a therapist. I said, "She never comes to anything. She doesn't go to lunch with us. She doesn't come over when y'all have stuff at the house. She barely even makes it to the damn meetings. Do you think that she's mean?" And she said, "No, Sam's just ISFP." And I looked at her and I said, "Oh, ISFP is a Myers-Briggs like personality type. Therapists love a personality type." And so I said, "Well, if Sam can be introverted and have a specific personality type that makes it so that she doesn't really like to be around other people very much, why is it that you don't believe that these two other therapists could be introverts or have a personality type that make it so that they don't really want to be around other people either? Why is it that they are classified as mean or rude and not just introverted?" And y'all, her direct response to me was, "I didn't think about it like that." She had literally never considered that black people had different personality types. As a therapist, it had never crossed her mind that black people are not all one type of person, that we have different personalities and enjoy different things and can also be introverts and extroverts, and some of us lie somewhere in the middle. It had never dawned on her. She had just made the assumption that these women were bitches. And far too often, that is the assumption made about Black women when we are not overly happy and super bubbly and very extroverted. We have to go out of our way to be the extreme in order not to be seen as angry Black women or rude. But everyone doesn't want to play that game, and they don't have to. We shouldn't have to do that just to be seen as people. No one else has to do that but us.
So I just want us to make this a conversation in the comments, and I would love to, hear from people that have seen a white therapist before. Probably your story is gonna help a lot of people. I kind of like this topic, and I'm glad that we are, talking about it today. Now I have put together a few stitches. Some black people stitched the video, literally, they shared their experiences, and I would want us to hear from them. Please check the stitches out.
She said, well, when I invite them to lunch, they don't come. When we invite them over,
I really think the racial divide between Black women and white women is worse than with the men. Sisters, some of your non-Black coworkers are very interested in you. Genuinely, they want to get to know you. But white women, that entitlement, see, you guys call us mean, we consider you two-faced. We don't trust you. We don't trust you. See, we are not the fake it till you make it type of people. Y'all are. Y'all will smile in someone's face and have ulterior motives. I mean, if a trained therapist cannot recognize regular introversion, can you imagine what an untrained garden variety white woman thinks about a Black woman? We're not mean. We're just trying to protect ourselves from y'all. Who would want to be around a group of people where every little thing is considered a slight? I'm good.
welcome back to White Therapists Say the Darndest Things, a series.
Okay, so this reminded me of a story that I have with a white therapist. So backstory, I was in college. This was my first ever time seeing a therapist. I was like going through the thick of it for various reasons. That's a whole other story. But basically, I was seeing a therapist and it was a sliding scale. It was through my school that I found this program, and it was like really cheap so I could afford it. And she was white and she was probably young. She was probably like 26, and it was kind of like a training program type of thing, and that's why it was so cheap, and that's why it was recommended towards college kids, because they could afford it, right? So I'm doing my therapy, whatnot. And this is the first therapist that I've actually seen ever. And I remember just talking, and I was explaining to her about Black and Mexican culture and like how, I forgot what specifically it was about. I think it was something about like parties or like not showing up on time and like always being 3 hours late. But I would usually like explain this stuff to her, like out of just like habit. Like I'd be like, oh yeah, like most Mexicans, like my family, we show up like 3 hours later. Like, oh yeah, in this community we do this. Like it was just casual conversation, just explaining my culture while I was talking about what was happening. And this one time, I don't know if she got fed up with it, but this one time she's like, do you think I am not good enough to serve you because I don't understand Black and brown communities or Mexican communities? And I remember just sitting there like, huh? She's like, because I've been around a lot of Mexicans and Black people, and I know about the community really well. Ma'am, do you hear yourself? You're gonna be victimizing yourself in my therapy session? Do you want to lay down so I can give you a prescription or something? But it was in that moment that I vowed that I would never, ever, 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 ever see a white therapist again.
Never considered that Black people have different
You know, as Black women, we are expected to always perform our magic instead of just be our magical selves. Whenever someone comes into our space, it doesn't matter who it is. We're expected to make them feel comfortable. Don't y'all know how exhausting this is? Oh, no, you don't, because you don't have to do it. We're always the ones that are charged with making everyone around us feel comfortable. It's exhausting to have to constantly perform magic instead of just be our magical selves. Well, now I'm on strike. I will no longer make effort to make other people feel comfortable just because they happen to meander into my space. I am no longer taking responsibility and doing all the things that other people don't want to do because somebody's got to do it. If you're good, I'm good. You see, the thing of it is, we don't ever receive reciprocity. We're told we have to do so much and work so hard just to get a little bit. And meanwhile, everybody else makes big profit off of our backs. And so yes, I am a black girl, and yes, I do have that black girl magic, but no, I don't have it for you.
Welcome back to White Therapists Say the Darndest Things.
I had to laugh about that simply because it's very interesting. I've been wanting to make a video about that for a while now. So I'm a Marine veteran, and I have a therapist who's white, a white guy, who is also a veteran, actually. So with all the black men killings and stuff going on in the world, I think it was late last year, early this year or something, I was telling him how I was stressed, anxiety and, that type of thing. I was like, man, it's really tough. I'm trying to figure out ways to navigate this difficulties. And he was like, yeah, I know. It's tough being a marginalized person. And just glossed over the emotional part and be like, oh, okay, so what else is going on with you?
Welcome back to White Therapists Say the Darndest Things, a series that I created to tell you the things that...
The second time I tried BetterHelp, I had a white lady therapist. And, it was fine for a minute, but then she started asking me to send her pictures of my family. Like, all the time, I'd tell her something, she'd be like, send me a picture of your dad. Just show me a picture of your mom. And I'm like, what? I don't know if you're building a shrine or something, lady, but I'm not sending you pictures of my family. And she kept doing it. She kept being like, just send me a picture of your cousin. Send me a picture of your sister. Eventually, I just sent her a picture of Morgan Freeman and Michelle Obama. And I was like, that's my mom and dad. And you know what this white lady said? Beautiful family. All black people must look alike to this bitch.
So I randomly took some screenshots of comments, so you guys can see what other people said about this video. Now, personally, I haven't seen a white therapist before, so I cannot say, I don't have the experience basically. But from these stories, I am not surprised, hearing these from black people. I just, like this conversation. I saw this video. I decided to bring this video here so we all can, talk about it. Now, it is just to create awareness. We are not making this up. This is real. This is what is happening. I just want to know if you have seen a white therapist before. Please share with us. I'm sure a lot of people, would love to read, your story. Let me know what you all think, guys, in the comments. And thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share, comment, and of course, come back for another video. I'm gonna see y'all in my next one. Y'all stay blessed. Bye.